Happy Sunday morning, everybody. No, I am not going to be trying a new mead today, at least not on film, because it is early in the morning, about 9:45, and I am going to be having some coffee. A very generic brand, I can't remember what it was. We've got some cool stuff in store for today's video. Only one unboxing. I've actually been holding on to this box for nearly a week now, anticipating new history deliveries coming in. But nothing has come in aside from this box, which is good. Haha, I'm finally free of all those boxes coming in. But we do have some awesome books that I got in. And then also, morning Justin. And then also I got some Viking shields I'm working on I want to share with you, and some new Viking swords behind me. So we'll get to those too. I want to share them with you. But for right now, let's get on to the unboxing. I'm here in my cold basement. It's very cold down here, and I'm going to have to spend a lot of time to work on these shields down here, so I might as well get used to it. So let us see. Oh my god, I think I've, dulled the tip on this, because we've been using it so much to open these boxes. Let's see. I know what this one is, and I hope it's the last fishing thing I'm getting for a while. Hope. But not certain yet. Oh, man, they taped this up good. This came from eBay, I think. So it's nothing special, you know, it's not like Shop Goodwill or... There we go. Oh man, they packing peanuts. Why never use packing peanuts? It is the worst. Just don't do it. Just in general, never do it. Even those biodegradable ones, that's just... Look at this. It's a hodgepodge of the biodegradable and non-biodegradable ones. They just toss them in there. Stop it. Stop it, world. Do not use them. Okay, here's what we got. One, guys, these are not that fragile. You do not need to wrap them in that much bubble wrap. I appreciate the simplicity of the box, though. You know, you don't have to ship a giant box for these things. All right, let's take a look. We're gonna use our knife one more time to get rid of this tape. Ha! All right, beautiful. Very beautiful. Look at that. Vintage, black painted, small, how small that is, fly fishing reel with, it's probably a plastic. This right here, I always like looking at the material that this is made out of to determine how old it is. This is made out of plastic, so it's probably like 50s or something. It's got a little bit of line still on there, but it still spins fairly well. No, not many clicks. I'm gonna obviously clean this thing up. And probably this one, but that should be the last ones that I need for the fly fishing class coming up here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, in April and May and June. Level 1 May, Level 2 June. And it's not really going to be history. I mean, we'll throw history in there, but it's mostly going to be just learn how to fly fish. We've got a really cool instructor doing that. This is probably a lot older than the other one, and you want to know why. One, if you've seen these before, you might not be able to see it on the video. It says Hendrix right here. Those small brass 1-to-1 reels that we opened earlier were Hendrix, and those were 1890s. Now, Hendrix has been around for a few decades, like into the 1900s, so this might be early 1900s, but you can already see under that black, it's brass. And Hendrix made a lot of brass stuff. I'm not going to... Oh, there might be words where Hendrix normally puts them. Nope, that's just... Did someone try to weld this? Oh my god. Look at that, there's like a... It's like a little blob of welding right here. What the heck? In any case, this is a cool one. Excited to have both of these. I'm going to clean these up. I'm not going to scrape off that black stuff. Instead, I'm going to try to find a way to cover it back up again. Or at least make it look pretty. Because these came with that black coating, which is pretty neat. There's some that... I gotta go to Galesburg. You keep showing me all these cool antiques in Galesburg, so I'll get out there at some point, maybe when the virus is over. A couple other things I want to share with you. Before we get to the Viking stuff, just a couple books. We actually went thrift storing yesterday, which is kind of rare for us. We were really bored and needed to get out of the house. So there's an antique store that has a lot of antique books. I picked up this guy here, 1916 Boy Scouts of America guide, which has two relevant things. I mean, it has tons of cool turn-of-the-century information, I'm going to try to flip quickly to the pages that I saw. Oh, I missed one. It was talking about fishing, which is pretty cool. It actually talked about fishing in, like, their wildlife section, which I love. Come on, guys. I love that because that's what I like about fishing. I love the connection with nature. I don't like, catching the bigger fish, stuff like that. There's canoeing, there's hand signals. There's also a section, which I can't find now, on archery, which I can't find now either. But there's some very cool information in here. It's going to be a great collection, but I haven't decided if I want to put that in a swordsmanship museum and academy collection, or if I want to put it in the fishing museum and cultural center collection, because it has information on both, which is pretty cool. They're not for sale. This next one is really cool. Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy, I tell ya. Soldier Boy series. Is this reversed? Can you read this? I can't tell. This is, yeah, it's reversed. Oh, I don't know how to mirror the videos in Facebook. I'll see if I can find a way to fix it. In any case, Civil War, this book was originally published 1865, though this is the 1889 edition. But I mean, like, really cool images. I mean, look at that. This is a Union soldier on a pontoon, like, pistoling this Confederate with a knife in his mouth. Holy dang! Like, what? So that is awesome. Oh, here we go. 1893, though entered according to Congress 1865. So this book was probably first published as like a, either swept up in the, either to capitalize on the nation's militant nature at the time, or even as a recruiting aspect. When I flipped through it, there was one picture that guaranteed I bought it, and then I shut the book, and now I can't find that picture again. It was this really awesome Zoav, and if you guys don't know what a Zoav, take a quick Google look, Z-O-A-V-E. It's a type of soldier that was popular across the world based on France, but it was very popular in Civil War. And in here somewhere, if I can find it, is an image of a Zoav bayoneting a Confederate, and it's just like, what? That's so cool. This is not it, but this is a boy fighting a dog with a stick. I kind of want to read this book, or I kind of want to do like even an audiobook recording of it. It looks cool. Man, I really want to find that Zoav picture. Oh well, I'll try to find it. It is gorgeous. Oh well. Oh well. You keep an eye on the Swordsmanship Museum and Academy page, because when I find it, I'm going to share it on there. And lastly, Natalie actually picked this one up. This one's really sick looking. Lebec. It is basically a top-down view sketch of this fictional, but based on European history, city of Lebec across the ages. So like it starts in like 1000 BC, 3000 BC, and then as the city develops, it gets more stuff added to it, and it just goes throughout the years, just adding all these details to this town. So cool! I love this. She got that for her art, like inspiration. But I just think that is awesome. Just the ability to show human cities developing over time. I thought that was really cool. Let's talk about Viking stuff. I have two Viking... Well, the whole thing is I've got a Viking class starting in March that one of my instructors is leading. He's kind of taking the torch from me, which is fine. I'd love to... I love that. I love it. It's, Ray is the one who's teaching it, and I cannot wait for that class to start, because he's going to do a great job teaching it. At the Swordsmanship Museum and Academy. Check it out. Still time to join. Got a few projects. This Viking shield, I originally made it, and then I want to share two stories with it. Supposedly the largest Viking shield ever discovered archaeologically was 36 inches in diameter, which this one originally was, and it was ludicrously heavy, ludicrously unsafe, and I recently just cut it down to a more manageable 32 inches in diameter. So we can have another one. I just didn't have any need for a 36-inch. It was taking way too much space. At the same time, it is also a relic of my much earlier years, before the museum existed, before I cared about quality more. This was the shield boss. This is a mixing bowl from the dollar store. And it was held on with 2 nails, bent over like rivets, whole one. pulled to, and you can tell just how like some of this bending is from me yanking it off the shield, but most of this denting is actually from 2 classes plus a few events worth of combat. Just it actually survived fairly well for $1. This was $1. It held up pretty well. It looked like crap and sounded like crap, and you couldn't fight with any sort of steel or honestly a longsword. I think one of these, this one might have been it, fought against a nylon longsword, HEMA style, and just ding to like dented it straight in. But then when you're done, you just take your sword and you just bang it in. So I'm replacing that with a much more appropriate steel boss. I guess iron would be appropriate, but I'm not going that far. I mean, these are made of plywood, so I'm not worried about the authenticity too much, but at least quality. So that's cool. I'm going to be replacing that. This guy's getting a revamp. Then I have another one back here, and which these shield blanks, the round parts at least, I got from a guy here in town I want to reach out to more, who was trying to get a Dansk. It's some large try to be Viking reenacting upstart group, but he didn't. He basically ran out of people. It was a really sad story. It's like I wish the best to him, but he was like, "Look, if you're going to use these for a class, just take them." And I'm like, "Look, buddy, I want to support you as much as I can. I appreciate it." So I bought a few other things from him. Got a Viking helmet with chainmail on it. I got a kite shield. He made some really cool stuff. I appreciate him. I'm going to reach out to him some more. But basically, I've got two. This one is nearly complete. It doesn't have any rawhide or anything around the edge. This one here does have the rawhide, and you can see it's being held in place as it dried. This is already dry, but I put it on wet with the clips to hold it in place. Now I just got to take a drill and do the threading around the edge, and this guy will be done. I've got enough rawhide for maybe another shield, but I don't know if I'm going to keep doing that. I'm probably going to get some, honestly, pleather. You know, if I'm going to do ahistorical stuff, I mean, these already have, like, cotton duck fabric on the front of it, which is something Vikings didn't have. I mean, steel rivets. I'm not worried about that too much. I'd like to have at least one decently historical so we can talk about it. But I'm not too worried. I mean, they're all made out of plywood, so... So, the last thing I wanted to talk about are these swords here. Haha. I got 4 of these. They're kind of like old stock, if you will, from Oakenhearth Armory, who is in the process of... It's local. He's in the process of upgrading all of his swords for a much better look. So he's got some really good-looking ones, but these are very standard-looking, so he wasn't really too worried about them. So I picked those up. We made a good exchange. Check him out, Oakenhearth Armory, if you are looking for anything with stage combat or photography or anything. Got his collection. His collection's bigger than mine. It's crazy. So it's very cool. My spear is falling over. This spear? It's stuck. There's a thing up there. It's good. It's good. I don't think there's any other spears. I'm scared. So, these are, and I'm probably going to do a review video after the class, these are Hanway Practical Viking Swords. That's the name of it. Hanway is the company, and the line is Practical, and the model is Viking Sword. So, a couple problems with them from a historical setting. My first sword was actually the Hanway Practical Bastard Sword. These scabbards are actually made out of plastic of some variety. They're plastic. They're not wood. They're not leather. And when I made that because they look like wood. I don't know if you guys can see the grain in the video, but they're painted or made to look like wood. And so when I first realized that they weren't wood and they're plastic, I was like, what the heck? I paid like $125 for my sword back like 12 years ago. So I was upset at that. Now I'm at the point where wait, I don't need that. I mean, maybe if I were to bring these to a reenactment, I might leave the scabbards off to the side. But like these I'm using for the Viking combat class, which is fine. They're robust. They are dull. They're rounded at the tip. However, they are not good for sparring. They are beastly boys, and they do not flex. So this would be for drill exclusively, and that's all right. We've got some plastic swords that do flex and are much safer that we'll be using for sparring. But these guys are very cool. I've got 4 of them, and so I really like that uniformity. and at least two pairs. So I'll have at least two of them using steel swords, which will be pretty cool. So I'm working like a dog to get this Viking class started, but to be honest, it's one of our most... Look it up. We got 4 of these, and they look gorgeous. I'm going to do a little bit of work, maybe 10 minutes each in the shop to fix them up. But honestly, Viking class is something I really should have invested in a long time ago. It's funny, because the first class ever, I had 3 sign up, which was the minimum to actually run the class. This was years and years ago. And one of those 3 ghosted. So it was just one of my... I miss Ben and his daughter Mel. Mel's gone away to college, so she's no longer a regular at the classes. But it was just basically me, Ben, and Mel. I had to like struggle to bring in guest fighters to make it, because it was just the 3 of us in a gym. It was so empty. So I was hesitant to do another Viking class, but I did. I made the Viking plastic swords. I didn't really put my heart into it. Corvus Cohort had an event coming up. And all of a sudden we got like 10 people for the Viking level 1 class, and I rushed to put together a Viking level 2 class I've been thinking about, and it was popular with axes. So now this is the 3rd time that I kind of have hope for the Viking combat semester. So we got level 1 and level 2, and we're working on level 3. I don't know if we're going to do it this time around or not, but cool stuff, you guys. We'll be adding things. Like, we already have shield and sword combat, shield and spear combat, shield and axe combat is level 2. We bring in Dane axes. We might do throwing axes. And then level 3, we'll be talking about formations. We'll be going into spears a bit more, doing some more advanced techniques and interpretations. I'm so excited. It's going to be really cool. We just got to go with the flow, especially during the time of COVID. So, in any case, guys, I originally wanted to go out and do Viking fishing today, but looking at the snow and the weather, I'm not going to be doing that. There's a cool park nearby. It is trout season, so it's on a legal river. That I might be doing. I've ordered a bunch of historical fishing and other stuff, more professional, not like used stuff that I've been unboxing, but like quality stuff. So I'm excited for those to be coming. I'm excited for Viking combat class. I hope whatever you guys are excited about will become true as well. I got some chores to do today, but thank you for joining me for this morning coffee and history break. So have a great Sunday. Stick around.